Hey guys, and welcome to Yin Yoga Splits from my program Flexibility and Beyond, which is an 8-week program, and you can get access to this on Interdimension TV, which is my monthly streaming platform, and you can get access to all of my programs, series, classes. You can also practice with other incredible yoga instructors as well. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button down below and click on the link at the top of the comment section so that I can hook you up with 3 of my favorite classes. All right, that's it. I'll see you on the mat. Welcome to Yin Yoga Splits. All right, you guys ready for some splits? Yeah? They seemed a little hesitant about that. All right, well, let's start off on the floor we'll start off in butterfly. And make sure you draw the feet in towards your body, wrap the outer hips down. And we'll start off first with a type of split that hopefully feels manageable and not too intense. Sound good, Selby? Yeah. All right, she approves. All right, on the inhale, lift the chest up nice and tall. And then exhale, fold over and down to your own degree. If you'd like to put a block underneath your forehead, feel free. And just feel yourself just slipping into the very beginning and initial moments of this practice. As you slip in, just imagining that you're slipping into a different world. It's almost as if your yoga mat is a bubble. And everything outside of that bubble can just go out of focus and fade away. And you can be vigilant and attentive to what happens inside the bubble. And every breath and every moment every pose is exactly the way that it should be. And our job as a yoga practitioner is not to fight it, but to simply witness it and observe it without judgment, without creating any drama, conflict within it. To just hold what unfolds within our own spacious, open attention. Last few breaths there. Then nice and easily begin to transition out of your butterfly pose. And as you come back up, just bringing your hands to your outer knees and closing your knees together. Swinging your legs off around to the side, coming into tabletop pose, all fours position. Then Then we'll tuck the toes underneath the feet, lift the hips up into a downward facing dog, just taking just maybe about 3 or 4 breaths there, nothing too long. As you press down into the palms, just enjoy that nice lengthening through your back and your spine as your tailbone just shoots straight up like the apex of a triangle. And then now we'll float the right leg off the ground on an inhale. And then right foot forward all the way to the top of your yoga mat on the exhale, relaxing your left knee down onto the ground, releasing the top of your left foot and bringing both hands to the inside of your right foot, setting up for dragon. Scoot the right foot out to the right and then start to bend the elbows. Start to climb down. And the dragon pose becomes really a great preparatory pose for splits later on. So just stretching that back left hip flexor, beginning to open that up. Also giving your right hip just a nice, deep, thorough stretch. Take a last few breaths there. And then we'll come all the way back up onto the hands. And then bring your right hand to the outside of your right foot. Recenter your right foot up. And before we move on officially from this position, bend your back left foot and reach back with your right hand. And then just grab onto that back left foot, coming into a big old massive quadricep stretch. Just for about maybe 5 or so breaths. Of course, the key is as you grab that foot and you draw it in, is to try not to make that strange look on your face. Give that one last little squeeze. And then relax that left leg back, tuck the left toes underneath, lift the left knee off the ground, step the right foot back to downward facing dog, pedal the feet out, stretch it out. Good, and then we'll lift the left leg up on the inhale, gently float it up. And then exhale, bring the left foot forward towards the top of the mat. Relax the right knee down, release the top of the right foot. Bring both hands right to the inside of that left foot. It should scoot the left foot out to the left. And then begin to bend the elbows. Start to climb down to your dragon on the other side. And if you're like me, one side is way, way more open than the other side. That's actually not that uncommon. There actually is a minute amount of asymmetry within all of our bodies. And if we're right side dominant, chances are the right side is going to be a little bit more tight and a little bit more stiff due to overusage than the left side. So just give your left hip what it needs, not what the right hip needed. Then you could say that the pose truly begins about 1.5 minutes into the stretch. So with that patience and with that presence, eventually that river of time arrives at that point. So we sometimes talk about the Tao, how that means the path or the way. So allow yourself to just travel down this path. Just a relaxed, steady, patient, present kind of a way. Breaths. And we'll come all the way up onto those hands. Bring the left hand to the outside, the left foot, re-center that left foot up. And then bend your back, right foot in, reach back with your left hand, opposite hand grabs opposite foot. Just gently draw that back foot in. One last little squeeze in. Relax the right foot back, tuck the right toes underneath, lift the right knee up, step the left foot back to a downward dog, and then walk your dog. All right, you guys, here we go. Float the right leg up on an inhale. And exhale, right foot forward, top of the mat. On the exhale, relax your left knee down onto the ground. Release the top of the left foot. And then a half split first. Pull the hips back. And then allow your weight to shift into the right heels so the right toes lift straight up. So half splits is a great gateway into the full split. So start here, and if this is enough, just stay there. If you're ready for more, and the more you do this splits practice over the course of these 8 weeks, the more that you'll be able to go deeper into the pose. So if you're ready, you're gonna slide your right heel forward to your own degree. And again, you don't have to get your legs totally straight out. It can be a little middle ground between a half split and a full split. So see what works for you. And another option is to actually take a block and to put the block right underneath the top of that right hamstring for support. How's that feel? Feel okay? And remember, with the block, you can do it on the highest height. You can do it on the middle height like we're doing right now with Jen. Or you can do it on the lowest height. So you have, again, always a ton of options. Find a place that you can hold now for about 3 minutes. And inevitably, it's going to feel intense. You are exposing major tissues in the body. And these tissues can feel like you're stretching out steel cables. And a lot of times, these steel cables feel like a vice grip that just gets tighter and tighter, so stiff and so hard. But through persistency, consistency, and patience, you'll slowly start to loosen up that vice grip. And it's not going to be that comfortable through that process. And those steel cables will start to gradually loosen up more and more. But it's going to take time. It took me a lot of time. It still takes me a lot of time to do this pose. This pose is a beast. And you know, the greater the challenge, the greater the reward. So embrace the challenge and meet the challenge with that steady, calm mind. Last few breaths there, you guys. Almost there. Hang in there. Keep breathing. Beautiful. Go ahead and prop yourself all the way back up onto your fingertips. And then tuck your left toes underneath your left foot. Lift your left knee off the ground. And then as you're ready, pull your right foot, right leg back to your downward facing dog. And then pedal it out. Walk out that dog. Stretch it. Feel it. Breathe into it. All right, now the inevitable is now here. The other side, left leg up on the inhale, and then flow it forward, top of the mat on the exhale. Relax the right knee down, release the top of the right foot, half split. So you draw the hips back, you balance on the left heel, left toe straight up to the sky. And if that's enough, stay there. Totally cool. If you're ready for more, start to slide your left heel forward. Start to move out. And with respect, listen to the body. Remember the first law of the yin pose. Find your edge, not blast your way through it, not force your way through it, but find the edge. Almost like a wall. You don't want to punch your fist through the wall. You don't want to kick through the wall, body slam the wall. You just kind of gently lean into the wall. So it's about compassion, not aggression. Take about another minute or so there. Those of you that are practicing at home, I really love this variation that Nadia is doing. She's in a half split. She's got her block on the highest height. She's just resting her elbows and forearms right on top of those blocks. And again, this just shows you that you can make this pose as gentle as you want, as manageable as you want. And so just start somewhere. Just get in the game of a split. Start where you can, and then just work with that. And be detached from like a need to get somewhere, a need to make your pose look like some image that you have in your mind that's just unrealistic right now. And just enjoy where you're at. It's never about getting into the full expression of the pose. It's about what happens on the way along that journey. It's about what you find out about yourself through the dedication and the discipline of just trying something that you're not necessarily good at or that you find to be easy. And of course, each challenge that you persevere through, you learn something new about yourself. And you tap into a potential inside of yourself, almost like a seed just waiting to be activated. And the challenge and the struggle is what activates the seed, if you're paying attention while you're doing that. Last few breaths. All right, you guys, that's it. No more torture. Come all the way back up onto your hands and your fingertips. Tuck your right toes under, lift your right knee up, and then bring your left leg all the way back to a downward facing dog. Pedal your feet out. Move that body. Good, and then now lift your left leg up on an inhale. And then flow the left foot forward, top of the mat on the exhale. Spin your back foot flat, turn your left foot in parallel to the right foot. Crawl between your feet that are facing the right side of your mat. And then let's grab opposite elbows with your hands. So you put a box to go around your head. And just for several breaths, just let your torso dangle free with gravity. While you're dangling, just allowing your inner legs to continue to stretch and release and open. Some of these guys are gently swaying their body around. If that feels good, you can just move side to side, almost like a pendulum a little bit. A light little bounce, whatever feels right. Nice, and then release the hands down to the ground. Crawl yourself back by your right foot. Turn the right toes out at an angle. And then we'll come into martial arts stretch. So bend your right knee so your left leg goes towards straight. You're balancing on your left heel, left toes face the sky. In yoga, we call this Skandasana. And a big stretch for the inner leg, the inner thigh. Also big mobility for your right ankle, your right knee, and your right hip. Take about a minute or so there. A little bit on the shorter side. Because I'm not sure that I'm really up to do this pose much longer than that. Good, and then let's do the same thing to the other side. So shift your weight over towards your opposite foot. Now balance on your right heel, right toe straight up. Just get deep into that inner right thigh, left ankle, left knee, left hip. Then we'll come back to Prasarita. So come back down the middle, feet parallel to each other. Come up onto your fingertips. Inhale, draw your spine up and out. And then exhale, palms flat. Bend the elbows, let the weight of the head go. Take a few breaths there. Again, just kind of hanging out, relaxing. And then now we'll crawl the hands forward off of the mat onto the floor. And then bring your feet back off your mat onto the floor behind you. And you may have to get a little creative with your neighbors, work it out so that you don't step on their feet. And then from here, you're going to release your knees down onto your yoga mat. So bring your knees all the way down. They don't seem too excited about this one. Now you're going to spread your knees out as wide as they'll go. Open your knees wide, wide, wide. And then open your feet out wider than your knees so your legs kind of look like frog legs. And then come all the way down onto your elbows. And all the way down onto your forearms. At least we can laugh about it. And then here's the key. In order to really, really get to the meat and potatoes of the pose, instead of letting your butt stick up, is you actually want to tuck your tail underneath and in and scoop your 2 frontal hip points forward so that you land deep, deep, deep into the inner thighs and the inner groin, and welcome you guys to frog pose, known as Manduk Asana. It's a story about a Sufi king, and this king had all the wealth that he could ever want, all the gold, all the power that you could ever want. But what he noticed is how fleeting his happiness was. And just in an instant, he would slip into states of rage and depression and despair. So he knew that something wasn't right. He had all this materialistic wealth, but inside he was just tormented, a tormented soul. And he heard about this wise man that lived outside of his kingdom in the woods. And he summoned his guards to go get this wise man. And when the wise man showed up to see the king begged the wise man to help him out. And he told the wise man that he would give him as much gold as he wanted if he could help him find a type of happiness and joy that didn't go away. And the wise man respectfully said, "What I can teach you and what I can show you is worth more than all the gold that you have. Give me 2 weeks and I'll come back and I'll give you a teaching for free." So the wise man went away, time passed, and eventually he came back to see the king. And he gave the king a small ornate box. King opened it up, and inside he found a ring. And inscribed on this golden ring were the words, "This too shall pass." And the wise man said to the king, before you move into any experience, look at this inscription, repeat it silently internally, and know that this too shall pass. And the king did as he was told, and he went on to live a life of deep happiness and joy. So I say this story to you guys because here you are in frog pose. And guess what? The pose is done. This too just passed. So come all the way back up onto your hands, tuck your toes underneath your feet, lift your hips all the way up to the sky. And then bring your feet forward onto your yoga mat. Bring your hands back onto your yoga mat. One more time, grab opposite elbows, create a box around the head, and just sway your torso side to side. And let's do this. Take a nice big inhale through your nose, and then sigh out the mouth. Let it go. One more time. Inhale deep. And exhale, let it go. Good. Release the hands down to the mat. Crawl yourself forward towards your front left foot. Turn your left toes forward. Pivot onto the back right toe. Step back to downward dog. One last time. And then as you root into those palms and you lift up through those hips, take one last inhale there. Goodbye. And then exhale, relax your knees down onto the mat. Stand up on top of your two knees. Bring your hands up to your waist for a moment. Tuck your toes underneath your feet. Heels draw up, position your hips right above your knees. And then from here, on an inhale, reach both arms all the way up to the sky. And then place your right hand on top of your right heel, or if that's too much, you can always bring your right hand up to your right waist, your thumb right on your right lower back. One arm, modified camel. Left arm reaching up and back. We'll be here for about a minute or so. Last inhale, goodbye. And exhale, ease your way out. Same thing, other side. Right arm floats up, left hand on top of left heel, or to your left waist. Draw your tailbone down, lengthen through the lower back, reach up through that top right arm, and just come back to your own sweet degree. And last inhale there. And then exhale, ease your way all the way back up. Both hands down onto the ground, tabletop pose. And then walk your knees forward about halfway up your yoga mat. Cross your feet behind you. Release onto your sit bones. Turn your body to face the right. Spread your legs open and out. Setting up for Dragonfly pose. So open the legs outwardly. Arms and hands out in front of you, right down the middle. Or you can reach your hands out and even grab your legs or your feet, totally fine as well. And then just as you're ready, just begin to fold over and down. Just coming into a seated version of a split. At any moment you feel like the experience is becoming too much, or you feel like you're losing that inner calmness, just come back to that phrase, "This too shall pass." Before you know it, the pose will pass. practice will pass. Your 8-week flexibility and beyond program will pass. Since this is time solely devoted to you, make the most of it. This is an investment into your own health and your own well-being. Keeping your torso down low, go ahead and crawl over by your right foot, right leg. Reach your hands out, grab your right foot or right leg. Inhale, pull your spine upward and outward. And exhale, just fold down and in. Then keeping your torso down low, come back down the middle between your legs. Keep going all the way over towards your left leg. And then reach your hands out, grab your left foot or your left leg. Inhale, stretch your torso up and out. And exhale, fold in right on top of that left leg. Just continuing to enjoy being in your bubble. Sanctuary where you can always take refuge. And through all the ups and downs, through all the highs and lows of life, through loss and gain, praise and blame, victory and defeat, practice is always here for you. Bring you back to balance, bring you back to wholeness. Bring you back home within your own body. And let's come back down the middle one last time. Take a last minute and a half there. Good, you guys. Go ahead and slowly, slowly come all the way back up. Bring your legs back together side by side. Swing the legs back around forward to the top of your yoga mat. Shake the legs out a little bit. And let's come down onto our back, recline. Get onto your back, reach forward, grab your shins, draw your knees and thighs into your belly. And then keep your right knee hugged in, extend your left leg straight out in front of you, and then circle your right thigh around and that right hip. Reverse it when you're ready. Then extend your right arm out to the right like a T. Take your right knee all the way over to the left into a bent knee, reclining spinal twist. As we make that final descent to the back end of yin splits. From here, we'll bring the right knee all the way back up to neutral. Then pull the left knee in to join the right knee. And extend your right leg forward along the mat. Circle your left thigh around inside of that left hip socket. Extend the left arm out to the left, and then allow your left knee to drape all the way over to the right. Coming into that twist on the other side. Lao Tzu in the Tao Te Ching says, men are born soft and supple, dead they are stiff and hard. Plants are born tender and pliant, dead they are brittle and dry. Thus, whoever is stiff and inflexible is a disciple of death. Whoever is soft and yielding is a disciple of life. The hard and stiff will be broken. The soft and supple will prevail. For 8 weeks, dedicated to increasing that suppleness. I'm dedicated to this practice that's here to teach me to bend so that I never break. Physically, but also mentally and emotionally. Now we'll bring the left knee back up to center. And now we'll pull both knees back into the belly. Now on an inhale, curl your forehead up to your knees. Give everything one last big hug of gratitude. Thank you, body. And then exhale, corpse pose. Extend your legs out. Extend your arms out. Free to take up as much real estate around your body as is possible. And after everything you just moved through, all those variations of the splits, now we let that go. Now we take these last few minutes like a deep sea diver diving deep into the ocean of your mind. See how deep you can dive within. Savasana. nice and easily. Back to your breath, taking a deeper inhale through your nose. And out the mouth, letting it go. And we'll reach the arms up over the head, interlacing the fingers, turning the palms inside out, stretching it all out. And reaching the hands forward, grabbing your shins, and bringing your knees back into your belly. And rolling over onto your left side. Slowly pressing yourself all the way up to a last comfortable seated position. Both hands to prayer in front of the heart. Giving gratitude to your yoga practice for bringing you back to the wisdom that this too shall pass. To embrace change as we make that transition from our mats onto the path of our life. Always bringing our practice with us so that we take our yoga off the mat and into the world. Be flexible and supple in your body. Be strong and calm in your mind. And may the Tao be with you. All right. Hope you had a great practice and feel all stretched out, moving through all those split variations. I want to thank you for your practice. Drop me a comment down below and let me know how it felt, how it went, and also where you're practicing from in the world. Remember to hit that subscribe button down below, and I look forward to seeing you down the road.